Here we are, early January 2026. Hopefully everybody's year started out really well and warm, at least here in Texas. It's exceptionally warm.
Except today.
This year, it's finally getting a little cooler, but it's been beautiful. And
it has. It's been mid-70s, some days high 70s.
Yeah.
And of course, right on cue, we went to wash our, not one car, but two cars on January 9th. 3% chance of rain. Guess what it did?
It rained hard. Not just a drizzle.
10 minutes after we got through washing the cars.
I couldn't believe it.
4 hours.
It has to be because we finally got out. Our cars needed to be washed.
They did.
Majorly. And the weather was so nice. I was kind of contemplating it for several days. I thought, okay, it's going to get cooler. We should get the cars washed. Finally decided to get it taken care of. And not 30 minutes later.
Oh, it was 10 minutes later. We drove out of the parking lot
and then pouring.
Yep.
And then it just kept coming.
But the insides are still clean. Insides are clean. And the insides need
our cars are clean. Our cars are
clean. And the outside.
At least for a little while.
Cars are washed.
Yeah. So we started trying to start out the new year better, trying to clean up stuff in the house, get rid of some junk that we don't really need.
Got rid of lots of junk.
Just cleansing.
Bags of junk.
Cleansing a little bit and feeling good about it. So, well, I wanted to talk a little bit about a lot of world events going on here, early year of 2026 and late part of 2025.
Yeah.
Most recent, we did late last year before the elections, we did a conversation around Mamdani and the possibility of him becoming mayor of New York City, and it did actually happen. He was sworn in, and he's wanting to make some drastic changes to New York and the policies.
I think even though we both would not have voted for him, I think we both predicted that he was going to win.
Probably win.
Regrettably, and he did.
And he's got some supporters and backers. We'll see what happens in New York. It sounds a little scary, not the traditional way of the U.S., but
it's the traditional way of communism and socialism.
We'll see how it all unfolds.
If you're traditional socialist or communist, then you got to be happy.
On the surface,
if you're allowed, I don't know if you're allowed to be happy.
I don't know. I don't know if that is allowed. I don't know if pursuit of happiness is part of communism or socialism.
No, I'm sorry, it's not communism. It's the collective warmth.
It's social
collective warmth.
Right. I think it's a Democrat socialist.
Or warm collectivism. I think it's
warm collectivism, right?
So I apologize. It's not communism. It's warm collectivism.
Right. We'll see how it unfolds. On the surface, anyway, it sounds like things are going to be free for everybody. Transportation.
I think 2 days ago, it's free
grocery stores, childcare.
Free childcare.
They're continuing to add to it, so there's some more stuff. But the question is, where is all this money coming from?
It's free.
Because if everything is free, maybe we'll move to New York. Can we have free stuff?
Well,
I like free stuff.
I've never had warm collectivism, so I might enjoy it.
I don't know. Well, we want to watch it from a distance, so we'll stay in Texas for now. But
we'll stay in Texas.
We'll see how it all unfolds, and we definitely want to hear your feedback on, if you believe in what Mamdani is doing, let us know. And do you believe it so much that you would actually be willing to move there?
And if you're already living there,
or if you're living there,
let us know. If you're enjoying all the free stuff and the warm collectivism, I'd love to know.
How do you define warm collectivism? How do you define Democrat socialist? I'm not even sure I fully understand how they're defining that with AOC and Bernie Sanders. And, I really have not been able to pinpoint exactly what that means and how is it different from, let's say, a middle of the road Democrat. Let us know your feedback on that. And for those of you that are in New York or in that surrounding area, are you seeing any of these changes the process being started to be put in place as far as transportation? I think grocery stores was one.
Transportation, grocery store, childcare.
Childcare is fairly new, so that might take some time.
They're going to start. Well, it's radical that they put in charge of public housing, who equates land ownership and home ownership with white supremacy. I'm going to be watching that carefully because supposedly, from what I've read, landlords who refuse to upgrade or pay violation fines, the city can now purchase their property.
Wow.
As opposed to the landlord being able to sell their property through a regular sale system to either the end homeowner or another
investor or something.
So it's going to, supposedly, the city can now force a sale and purchase the property of landlords that have outstanding violations.
Very interesting.
And I don't know what the landlords are going to do. They're being They're being tasked with renovating and maintenance,
but they need to have the rent reduced.
But they're being capped on what they can charge for rent. So it is a losing proposition for many of these landlords. It's costing more to maintain the property, pay the taxes, pay the insurance than they can receive in rents, even if everybody were paying their rent.
Right,
and we know firsthand experience that renters, not 100% of renters pay, and not all renters pay 100% of what their rent is.
Right.
I'm not saying that all landlords are great, but I'm saying that, supply and demand is only works when both sides come to the table with what is fair for both sides.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, is the goal with that basically just to have government own all housing?
It is.
And it just all becomes public housing
as opposed to private. The goal is to have it 100%
government owned
housing.
And then they dictate, do you get heat during the winter? Or
government
they give
housing,
you 2 extra blankets? Or
government provided health
save
care,
some money.
Government provided child care, government provided schooling, and government owned food supply.
Yeah. So, well, anyway, we'll see how it all unfolds.
But stay warm in your conservatism, your collectivism. Stay warm.
Your warm collectivism. Yeah. But we'll see how it unfolds. Maybe he'll back off on some of the things that he has been aggressively talking about, and become a little bit more reasonable. He did meet with Trump, and I guess they had a good conversation. Maybe there's some hope there that New York will be successful in.
Well, early on, Governor Hochul said that she wasn't on board.
She wasn't fully supportive of it.
And of course, any revenue that was passed by the state, she had to be on board with. But earlier this week, the two of them were sitting down talking about the free child care.
Yeah.
So maybe she's
okay. Let me
to the left.
Maybe shift just a little bit. So I think we all know New York Stock Exchange. We're familiar with it. There's some discussions about having a stock exchange in the Dallas FortWorth Metroplex. So have you heard about this? And if so, what are your thoughts on it? Will this be basically a new stock exchange? So it's going to be in competition, or is it a shift, or they're replacing it? Or?
I've only read a little bit about it, and I don't think it is a competition. I think it is an additional resource, much like.
Is it a backup of the New York Stock Exchange?
I don't think it's a backup.
No,
I think because you've got lots of different stocks, commodities, futures, lots of things are traded. Even if you just look at stocks, they're separated into groups: the Russell 3000, the Russell 2000, the S&P 500, the Dow Jones Industrial, the
NASDAQ.
So it's the exchange is a whole, and they're not really. I don't think it's going to be competitive in nature. I think it is only going to offer more opportunities.
So it'll be like just an extension. So it'll be New York Stock Exchange, Dallas potentially, or somewhere in the DFW area. We think it's Dallas.
Yeah,
Dallas Stock Exchange. And you'll have more trading floor, I guess.
Exactly.
And you'll have different time zones, which might be beneficial. It may not. Because there were a couple of propositions during the last voting that directly will impact a stock exchange being in Dallas regarding taxes and how all of that is going to unfold. So very interesting information, but still a little bit early. But it will be interesting to see how that is going to work and how they work together regarding the trade day. Does the trade day extend another hour? I mean, how would that potentially?
Or for people in the central part of the U.S., start an hour earlier. I don't know. It's for those that are familiar or aren't familiar but slightly interested. The stock exchange on the East Coast is called Wall Street, and tongue-in-cheek for Dallas, they're calling it Y'all Street. Y'all Street.
Y'all Street.
So that's what it is. Well, it's no different than it's the Singapore Stock Exchange, the Japanese Stock Exchange, as you go, Hong Kong Exchange.
Right,
as you go around the world, you've got exchanges all over the world.
Oh yeah, because stocks are being traded around the world.
It's just moving west. And long answer to your question, I don't think it's competitive in nature. I think it's just expanding. Yeah,
expanding it. And I do wonder though, will it actually be open an additional hour? Whether it's on the front end or the back end will be interesting.
Yep.
To kind of close a little bit of that gap between East Coast, West Coast kind of thing. It's kind of right in the center.
Yeah, because if you currently trade on the West Coast,
yeah,
you're up
pretty early.
2 to 3 hours earlier to start your trading day. But
no, you'd still have to do that.
Yeah, but your trading day is over 1 o'clock California.
But if you got an extra couple hours, Anyway, let us know your thoughts on that. I thought that was a pretty interesting thing that's unfolding. Still learning a lot about it, but I think it will have some big impacts on how stocks are traded, the time frame of which it's traded, and how that in turn is going to impact some of the other markets around the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see. And of course, the more recent news has to do with the capture of Maduro. You guys talked a little bit about it in your Three-Eyed Bass podcast.
Yep.
But yeah, that is a very interesting unfolding of what has happened with, I actually had to go look it up. There was a bounty put on Maduro's head. Was it 2020?
No, that's when he was indicted. But there.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. The indictment was then, but shortly after that, I think there was a.
Yeah, Trump put an initial bounty on Maduro. Then Biden raised that to 25 million, and then during the most recent election, when Trump came back in office, it was raised
He
again.
increased it.
So it went
But
to 50 million.
It is interesting. Venezuela is a very mineral-rich country. They have not only oil but also gold.
Well, at one point in our lifetime,
And they were a democracy.
At one point in our lifetime, Venezuela had the 4th largest
Yes.
gross domestic product per capita of any country in the world.
Country in the world, right here.
So they were extremely wealthy and
doing really well.
oh
They
gosh, yeah. And then
It was
warm collectivism came in, and now everybody's broke, and 80% of the people don't have a job, and 50% of the people live out of garbage cans. And
Right.
that's not an exaggeration. There is no food, there is no job, there is no money.
Right. So yeah, so that is a big, big topic to kind of follow. Again, what are your thoughts on this? Initial thoughts. We went in, captured him. He's in, put him on a ship, shipped him to New York. He got his walk into whatever the holding facility is there, and then he, of course, got in front of a judge, pled not guilty. His wife did the same, and now we'll see kind of where things go from here. But the fact that the oil companies are meeting with Trump and willing to look at going back to Venezuela to continue drilling for oil. The equipment is all there. Some of it, I'm
Most
sure,
of
needs
it paid for
repairing.
by U.S. and U.S. oil companies.
Yeah, I think the majority by U.S. companies that were there prior when Venezuela was doing really well. And they're the ones that educated them and put the equipment in on how to do it, how to access it, and basically leased it. And of course, then
It was stolen from them.
all that money that was put into those leases, it was stolen. They did get some kind of international court or something that said Venezuela owes these companies for those leases and the equipment and all of that. And of course, all the damage that's happening from some of those that are just simply sitting there. But it looks like now we're trying to turn the page. Where's that from?
But this has
on a positive note.
there's a ripple effect through the entire world.
Yeah.
Not just oil, but and it's more in depth than what we're going to get into. But look at the effect that this is having on Cuba, because Cuba
Right.
and Venezuela are intricately tied together.
Cuba relies on Venezuela 100% now.
Yes, and what it has to do with China, you may not have heard, but coincidentally, major Chinese government officials were actually in Venezuela.
They were meeting with Maduro
within 3 hours of him being captured.
the day. Yeah, they were there the day prior and the day
up
up.
to 3 hours before he was captured.
Yeah.
The drugs that China sends in to the U.S. via Venezuela, I mean, there's now China is like, well, not only the drugs, but 80% of all the oil that Venezuela was, 81% actually of all the oil that was being produced in Venezuela was going to China. So now China is losing some of their cheap oil imports. So, I mean, major implications around the world. Russia, intricately tied in with Cuba and Venezuela. Russia is now more willing to come to the bargaining and negotiation table. If you just look at the Venezuelan population here in the U.S. and how happy and joyful and excited they are, I mean, that tells you something about Maduro's capture. I mean, our own Venezuelan population is excited and happy about what has occurred. And you go into the Cuban communities, and they're starting to get excited about what this means, that Cuba may finally be open and more of a free capitalist society again.
I don't know.
So,
that would be...
when the grassroots people are happy that their leader was captured, maybe we're onto something here.
I think there's a lot of positive things, positive potential that we have partnered with Venezuela regarding the oil, regarding other resources.
I think Venezuelans will be able to go back to work. And if this administration,
Yeah.
does what I think they're going to do, a lot of the money will go back into not only Venezuelan pockets, but the country of Venezuela, and bring that back up to a decent living standard again.
And more importantly, I think they want to get back to a democratic country and get away from
Warm collectivism,
socialism, and what they have experienced for so many years. And so many fled from there. Now they're wanting to go back. They're wanting to rebuild and be, back with families and bring them back together. So I think a lot of good things will come of that. Again, we'll see how it all unfolds, but so far it appears to be a positive thing that has happened and moving in the right direction for the world, not just for us in the U.S.
Yep.
So yeah, so fraud across the U.S. Minnesota was highlighted recently. California also. In the past, I remember California actually regarding. Do you remember that speed train?
Yeah, they have built exactly
like 2 miles of track.
No, 0 feet of it.
0 feet of track.
Yeah,
I thought they had like a footer. I thought they had at least a mile.
I think they've got the materials, but I don't think they've actually put anything.
So the money for that was provided.
Even if they got 2 miles and they put the train on it, it's not working. They have zero workable.
Zero workable. But I thought they actually had something late. Anyway, all of the money
that went a few $1 billion over 8 or 10 years
that went to that project.
Give them time.
Actually, is completely gone, and they were looking for more funding apparently. And nothing to show for it.
Well,
so anyway, but what I was getting to is like that had happened prior. That was exposed. But again, it's like the news just kind of died and it went away. Nobody continued to look into that, or maybe they did, but it hasn't been real visible online or in the news. And then more recently, here's the information on Minnesota and how money is being siphoned away to other countries. And people don't know it. It's under their noses.
They know it because what's happening is the money has been given to a group in the local population. Right now, all eyes are on the Somalian population. They're sending the money back home to Somalia, and through some magical coincidence, the money is coming back as major donations to the political elite.
For Minnesota, yeah.
And that money then gets spent in advertising and commercial dollars to the media. So it's just one big cycle being funded by yours truly, the taxpayers.
Yeah.
This is an important phone call. We're podcasting, and now you're on the podcast. Yeah. This is Ron on the phone, phoning in because he's listening to our conversation about Minnesota fraud.
So the fraud that's going on is not just 1 or 2 states. There's probably some level going on across the board, but the amount that's coming out that has been ignored for years and years, and the number of people in leadership that have looked the other way,
got paid to look
amazing.
Got money under the table, got a backdoor kick.
And like you said, there are salaries that went from your normal, what is an average congressman or senator?
120 to 150,000. They don't need the salary because they're getting paid millions of dollars from lobbyists and special interest, and
under 150,000 for their salary, plus they get whatever bonuses, and now all of a sudden their net worth is shooting up within 2 to 3 years.
In 3 years, they're worth $30 million from a $150,000 salary.
Some of them it was within 1 year.
Yeah.
Right? Elon Omar was within 1 year, and same AOC, I think, shot up within a year or two. Her net worth, she was a waitress?
She was a bartender.
Bartender in New York, and then got the political seat, and now and her net worth has just gone through the roof. It's ridiculous.
You're paying for it.
And taxpayer dollars have a big part of it. I guess there's donors and other things that are going on, but then, is that straight corruption where you're just buying politicians? A
lot of it is. And the people that I talk to and interact with, I'm not going to say everybody in the U.S., because I don't talk to everybody in the U.S., but the people I talk to, our opinion is until some of these people start not being indicted, not being pulled in front of Congress for their, 3 days of bullshit, until some of these people start going to jail,
it's going to continue.
It's going to continue.
It will.
Nothing's going to stop until people get incarcerated. If we did this,
we would in a heartbeat.
They would have taken everything we owned, and we'd be sitting in jail, with the potential of never seeing daylight again. And the politicians, they just,
Brush it off.
they blame it on somebody else, point fingers at somebody else. Something else gets in the news cycle. They spend a couple of days in front of an investigative committee, and they make some plea deal, and nothing ever happens, and the cycle continues. We were watching somebody the other night that says when the majority of these guys and gals, when they get caught and they actually get punished or fined, what happens is they take everything that they illegally got, put them back to ground zero, and say, well, there's your punishment. That's not punishment. You went back to right where you started. Now you have the freedom and opportunity to do it all over again. If you've done something wrong, don't take them back to where they started by taking away what they stole. Punish them so they don't do it again. Punish them so that other people see, oh my gosh, the risk is not worth the potential reward. Punish these people.
Yeah, and it's not really a reward. It's like stolen money, stolen assets from taxpayer dollars is really what's happening, I think. But yeah. Anyway, the news isn't yet reporting, I don't think, all of it across the board, across different states. And, I'm sure it's all politicians at some level. I don't know, at what point do you say, okay, you can't just keep brushing that off, or it's not as minor as you think.
And it's not just federal, it's not just state, it's local level too.
It's all
there are local level politicians.
Yeah.
And I know in the past, that's been in the news cycle the past 10 years. I remember a few years ago, there was a lady at a regional school board position that had siphoned off several $100,000 from the schools that she was supposed to be administering. And what happened to her? I think she got, 12 months in jail. They recovered a portion of the money. Come on, give me a break. I mean, it's happening at every single level. I know I don't want Big Brother looking over my shoulder and everything, but Big Brother needs to at least look at itself. People put in positions of accountability who are over taxpayer funds that are supposed to flow down either for the good of the community, the good of the group, or the good of special groups who actually need it. They need to be accountable for it. And if you can't be accountable, you shouldn't have the position. And if you're stealing from the pie, you need to go to prison.
I got to go back, though, a little bit. I feel like at the federal level, if they would set the example, maybe then you can go to all the states or do it in conjunction. But, you can't have a government with political leaders at the federal level that cannot balance a budget.
Yeah.
How do you just keep saying, well, we're just going to do a continuing resolution? Oh, let's do a continuing resolution. Well, January, if they don't come up with something, we're potentially looking at another shutdown. I mean, this is stupid.
Within 2 weeks from today.
This is really crazy that we cannot say, the federal government, get your stuff together and balance a budget. I mean, that is pretty basic.
It is.
Individuals have to do that.
The Pentagon hadn't balanced the budget in decades.
I absolutely don't understand that. So when they can't even do it, and then we're talking about all these different states that have all this fraud. Well, yeah, but I'm not saying it's right, but I also don't think it's right that the federal level cannot balance a budget, and then they're going to now have oversight over the different states and looking into their fraud and abuse and waste. What is happening? I mean, balance the budget at the federal level, and let's then look at the different states, or do it in conjunction, but at least make a commitment to balance the budget. Get something out there that everybody can clearly see. Put it on the website. This is where the money's being allocated, and then actually allocate the money. Don't allow it to disappear into other buckets somewhere, and then all of a sudden you don't have any money.
Well, they started trying to do that, if you'll remember, 8 months ago, and what happened was people started burning Tesla factories
with the Doge,
and scratching up people's cars and getting all pissed off because the people taking the money didn't want it found out. They didn't want their budgets balanced. They didn't want people to know that they were fraudulently taking and dispersing that money to benefit themselves. So a big push to balance budgets and to get rid of this fraud, waste, and abuse turned into, oh, you're terrible because you want us to stay within a budget. Oh, you're terrible because you want to know where the money's going. The whole system is just one big pile of corruption. So it's got to start somewhere.
It has to start. Yeah, it does have to start somewhere. I agree. But along with looking at all the different states, I do strongly believe that the federal level also needs to continue. You're right. Doge had come in. They found all this fraudulent funds and money and accounts and all kinds of stuff going on.
And people got mad because they got found out.
And but again, that still needs to continue. as we look at, the different states, we can hopefully clean this stuff up. I mean, just imagine if the money that we pay in tax dollars went to things that we were told they actually went to, we probably wouldn't be paying so much in taxes.
Well, we wouldn't be $35+ trillion in debt.
Or have the debt level that we have. I mean,
Yeah, people are still in it. Of course the debt's going to continue to go up.
Yeah. Anyway, food for thought. Give us what you're hearing and what you're seeing online, and where do you see the major pockets of savings if we go in and actually look for that fraud, waste, and abuse?
Yeah. I mean, before we close it out, a 23-year-old YouTube reporter has uncovered more in the last 30 days than the major news organizations have in 3 years. I mean, come on.
Right. It's out there.
It's right there in front of everybody's faces.
True. And people just look the other
way. The whistleblowers that bring it up to the higher level attention get told that they better shut up or they're going to get fired. There's corruption everywhere, and it pisses me off.
Yeah. Give us your thoughts. Let us know what you think government should do, state level should do, county level, city level, and what's the biggest abuse that you're seeing locally.
Say something. And hope to not get fired.
Don't forget to follow, like, and share. Thank you.